How about that for an introduction? Welcome to the party, folks. Producer Courtney getting after it in the studio. Hey, we got a good show for you. We got a lot to tell you, but one of the things that we want to tell you today, and we're coming out hot with it, is stop waiting. If you want to buy or sell a house, we're going to spend the bulk of the show today telling you why waiting is probably not wise. We're not going to scare you and threaten you or any of those things. We're just going to talk to you about the cost and the craziness of waiting and the uncertainty of the future.
We might scare you a little bit.
Well, if the truth scares you, then so be it. But we're not here to manipulate you. We're here to educate and protect you from the manipulations of most of the headlines in the media. So it is what it is. But we will be getting into why this is an excellent time to be active in the DFW real estate market. And if you're not in the buying, selling season of your life, we still got some really good stuff for you on what's happening, where the opportunities are, and just some really good stuff on enjoying the home that you've already got, whether you're buying, renting, or sleeping on somebody's couch. Home's a beautiful thing. We're diving into it. If you do have questions of your own, this is the time. You hear people, you say first-time caller. Be a first-time caller or texter or a 10th time, but engage with us today. Let's make it happen. Let's have the conversation. 214-310-0008. Call or text. 214-310-0008. Sorry, let me do it one more time. 214-310-0008. I've only done that 47,000 times.
Let me know if you need help. I
Might
got
be
you.
the second time I've stumbled through it. Or you can always find us online, like my son says.
TouchYourMoneyTeam.com.
No, his voice does not sound like that anymore, but it's sweeter when it sounds like
TouchYourMoneyTeam.com.
TouchYourMoneyTeam.com.
it's closer to that now. High school football. TouchYourMoneyTeam.com, bro. A lot of bro.
Let's get some bruh in here.
Bruh.
Skippity,
Bruh.
skippity-da.
All right, hey folks, we're here to talk about real estate. This is DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. And if you miss us live on the show, Courtney, where should they find us? If they don't catch us 3 to 4 p.m. every Saturday right here on WBAP, where can they find us?
I mean, we're on the YouTubes. You can watch the whole show
Yep.
every Monday.
Yep.
And on a podcast.
Podcast.
DFW Real Estate Weekly. We got bonus episodes. We got everything you need right there.
Just on demand. Whenever you want it, you got it. DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti, the longest podcast name on the planet, so that it's easy for you to find. There's probably longer. That's a false claim. Sorry. All right, folks. This first segment is
Brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his team at Cardinal Financial. If you're looking to get a mortgage, refinance, just need general information on what the heck is going on in the world of lending and mortgages and rates and all that stuff, go to patrickgleros.com. You can actually start an application directly on his website. NLS number 308804. You can give him a call, 972-728-3420, patrickgleros.com.
Yeah! Nailed it. Lil John liked it. All right, folks, if you have questions, you've got to call and text today, 214-310-0008. Dallas-Fort Worth real estate is in what we call the murky middle. We've talked about it for a while. It's not an extreme seller's market. It is not an extreme buyer's market. It is still a seller-leaning market, but it's very confusing and murky, and if you read the headlines, you have no freaking idea what's going on. Courtney, you look like you've got to say it.
Well, I just, like you always say, there's opportunity in every market.
I think I genuinely believe there's opportunity in every market. Now, the reason I say that is because there's a strategy for every market. But if you're not careful and you're working with fill in the blank, normal, part-time realtor, they generally have one strategy, and it's a spring and early summer strategy. And I hate to give you the bad news, but we are past the spring and early summer real estate market. We are absolutely in the late summer, fall real estate market, where back to school is a major factor in decision-making and timing, and the shifting from the stereotype of everybody buys and sells now, and we're moving into the fall, which is going to be a rowdy one this year. I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's an election this fall.
I heard of it.
Ew!
Yeah.
Love some politics. So I don't know if you've noticed, but on our team this last week, things kind of picked up and changed a wee little bit, right?
I'm glad you're going there. Go with it.
Multiple contracts came through my desk, through my email. They don't go through desks anymore. Came through my email.
Fax?
Your computer is on your desk, in there. Hey, we still have
So I
a
guess
fax number, just to be clear.
No
they
doubt.
came through my desk. But no, we executed like multiple homes this week, and more showings were happening, and our buyer agents are having more clients say, hey, I want to go see these houses again.
Yep.
And one of the factors of that was interest rates came down
Yep.
a little bit, like enough to where people were going, okay, like this is as good a time as we've had in the last 8 months. Let's go do something. And that means more competition, and that means more people are going to miss out. And I mean, I just said to somebody in the office earlier this week, I was like, I think the same way that people had kind of this feeling of, oh man, like I should have bought something in 2020 and I didn't, like I missed out, or I should have bought something in 2018 and I didn't and I missed out. People are going to have that same feeling 2 years from now looking back on today's market, because homes are not going to like stop. They're not going to just decrease in value and just become worth nothing. Like they're going to keep going up.
Amen. Amen. Keep preaching. You don't have to stop if you're not finished. Just keep
Don't be crazy. Don't waste your life.
Lean in.
Yeah. Brimstone.
Do
Bring it.
what you need to do.
Bring it. Bring the heat. Listen, I agree. Click, support, affirm. I concur. What else do you need? Every bit of that is right. Fannie Mae came out, big federally backed mortgage, whatever you want to call it. People have a hard time distinguishing government entities and Fannie Mae. But your government backed, what we call conforming, kind of standard mortgage stuff. That organization came out this week and basically said they expect mortgage rates to come down about 1/10 of a point per month for the next year. What I don't want you to hear is, cool, wait a year, because NAR, the National Association of Realtors, and many other research groups believe that somewhere in the range of 5 million American households become capable of buying every 1% of rate reduction. So over that, again, they will not be right. This is a prediction, but they could be right for the most part. But they're just saying, hey, in the next year, we think rates are going to come down about almost another full point. And so over the course of the year, you would see 5 million more people able to buy a house. But that's not even the biggest point here. And feel free to jump in. There are already a lot of people able to buy, but they're uncomfortable to buy. They can afford it. They just don't like affording it. It's kind of like saying, I can put gas in my car at $5 a gallon, but I don't like it. I want it to be $2.25, right? So
There's also people that have to do it.
Well, they have to afford that, so they can't afford
I don't want to
something
put
else.
the $5 gas in, but I have to because I have to get to work.
Yeah, so I won't do these other
Right.
things. Right now, there are a lot of people that are like, I could buy, but I'm not going to buy. And there's probably 5 million more people, if they're correct, that will be able to buy. So every one of these little subtle, slight reductions, which you're saying we've seen a subtle reduction in rates into the, depends on how you're borrowing, but upper sixes from the low to mid sevens, which is significant.
Even close to 8 at one point.
That's significant. We're seeing real movement there. If that continues to happen over the next year, and again, I'm not saying it will, I'm saying that's what smart people that see more mortgages than anybody on the planet are predicting, that, then we are going to see a what I believe consistent increase in activity in the market, demand in the market. Now, some of what's being priced into rates right now is the expectation that the Federal Reserve will lower bank rates in September. Nobody knows that. But all that to say is mortgage rates have come down and we're seeing activity pick up. The predictions are that will continue over the next year. The election will be a factor, but I'm telling you, I think if you're planning on waiting, you might wait for a slightly lower rate and a much more expensive house. And I don't think that's wise if you can appropriately and comfortably move now.
I think it's fair to say that if you're saying we might have 12 changes in the rate, right? We're talking about, you said 0.1.
In the mortgage rate.
Right,
Yeah.
of that. And let's just take that 5 million, divide that by 12. I think it's fair to say that it's not unrealistic to say for every single one of those little reductions, a percentage of that 5 million is going to go and start looking.
400 to 500,000.
It's just like the longer you wait, the more people you're going to be competing against.
Well,
and then guess what happens when you're competing against more people?
Price
goes up.
Terms go down.
Because-
less repairs, less time
Yeah.
to think, less freedom, less flexibility, less options.
Right now, you might be battling 3 people for a home, and in
Or
6
0.
months, you might be battling 8 people for a home. And guess what? They're going to fight it out.
By the way, we got an angry email last week from somebody that I love you and appreciate you, but you misunderstood our segment about.
Phone call. It was a phone call.
Oh, I said email. Yeah, it was a phone call.
Thank you for reaching out.
We did a segment.
We'll take any calls.
We did a segment about how buyers with cash have a huge advantage right now. And then this person called and they were really upset because they said that's not true because they're a seller. And the point was missed. And I'm not upset with them. They just didn't catch the whole point. But the point is, if you're a buyer and you have cash, then you don't care what mortgage rates are. And if you're a buyer with cash, you can close faster. There's less time needed for underwriting. There's less time needed at the title company or at closing to do a lot of the back end documentation that's really required by banks and appraisals and things like
You can
that.
get it cash done in like 7 days.
7 days, a week, 1 to 2 weeks, as opposed to like 3 to 5 weeks.
Yep.
Now, the reality is this: that is true regardless of whether people like it or not. So I'm not trying to be antagonistic. I'm just reiterating the point in case I was unclear in the show last week. If you are a cash buyer right now, by all means, there's no reason for you to wait. You don't need to wait for rates to come down, but you certainly don't want to wait for prices to go up. So we've had this period of kind of late 2022, most of 2023, and so far all of 2024, where prices are not dropping much at all. They're not going up a ton, but in most places they're going up some. And in some places things are a little flat. There's a few pockets where prices have dipped a little. But this is your moment. If you're a cash buyer, 2-3 years ago, you were like, oh my gosh, prices are going up 1% per month. Now they've gone up a few percentage points over the course of the year. And so this is your moment where prices kind of paused and you can get in before they shoot up again. I don't know that they're going to shoot up again. I can't be positive about that, but I absolutely believe that they will, especially if rates come down, especially if we get inflation a little bit more under wraps, especially as elections, politicians want to drive certain economic optimism. So I would just tell you, if you're a cash buyer right now, call me, 214-310-0008. I'm not joking. You don't have to buy right now if you're not ready. But if you have cash and you want to buy, call us. We'll give you a couple of inside secrets that we're helping our cash buyers really hit home runs. And what we're seeing, where finance buyers are losing out in competitive situations. We talked about that this morning.
Listen,
so 214-310-0008. Now,
Hey, you got it.
Now we'll listen. Yeah.
This
You got the number right.
Thank you.
begs the question. I don't have cash. Why do I not understand math?
Yep.
I would prefer a lower interest rate and to pay more. Like, why is that my headspace? When what I'm hearing you say is
It's a
like,
good
get in
question.
now.
It sounds like the dumbest question ever asked, but it is a question a lot of people are asking. So I will answer that.
But first, let me tell you about DP Lambert. If you want to save some money on your home insurance, your auto insurance, and you have not shopped either of those recently, reach out to DP and his team, dp.lambert, Lambert, dp.lambert at goosehead.com, 214-614-8595. He's the first call that I always make when it comes to my home insurance, auto insurance. I sent his name and number to another friend of mine this week who's reaching out to him. Give DP a call, 214-614-8595, or go to toddfrommoneyteam.com, click on the radio tab, and you can find all of our recommended pros and vendors right there. And while you're doing that, also go ahead and get yourself a Summer Fun Guide. We've got a few of those left. Click the banner at the top of the homepage, toddfrommoneyteam.com. You can get yours all for free. And we just did our summer staycation this last week, and it was awesome. And there's ideas for that in the Summer Fun Guide.
My hands up for those of you on radio that can't see.
Yes, Todd.
Thank you for calling on me, Ian. Why would you not, if you're a homeowner, why would you not demand to know the value of your home or a close estimation at all times?
Yes.
Ian,
my hands up for
Yep.
those on the video.
Yes.
You're lazy.
That's actually a good answer.
Thank you.
Well done there. I do believe that. I'm not angry with
Ignorant.
you. I'm not angry with you if you're just like, I am opposed to knowing. But it is a bit of a lazy deal. Now, I appreciate if you view your home as home more than as an investment. But it is also an investment. It's an asset. And depending on how you look at it, at times it can be a liability. If you have, the cost of borrowing or things like that are weighing you down. The reality is you're better off knowing the value of your investments, the value of your assets, what you have to work with if something got really hard, or what opportunities are there to you if some better option presented itself. And knowing the value of your home is so easy. If you will go to toddtremonteteam.com right now, literally, no exaggeration, in under a minute. I think the last time Ian did it, he said 54 seconds.
Close, yeah.
45 or 54, one of the two. If you go to toddtremonteteam.com and click on the property valuation tab or home value tab, it will tell you what your house would sell for in the current market in under 1 minute. It'll also get you a bunch of other stuff. It'll track your equity. You can get a cash offer, lots of different things. You can search houses for sale by every agent in the MLS and the whole market. But you can find out what your home would be valued at based on comparative sales in under 1 minute if you go to toddtremonteteam.com. Now, Courtney, you asked a great question. It sounds like a dumb question, and I want to point out why I say that. The question basically was, and tell me if I'm not hearing you correctly, why would you rather have a low rate than a lower purchase price on the house? Because there's an instinct in a lot of people that are like, no, I want the lower rate.
Yeah.
My answer, the best answer I can give you, is that we have been conditioned. There's been no deliberate effort, but just the culture and the cycles of economics and real estate in America in the last 20 years, let's say, have sort of conditioned us to view interest rate as probably the most important factor in the whole thing. The reason is we have been through an atypical, an unusual, a freakishly weird season of low rates. These are not normal, but there's a generation of homeowners, and it's the under 40 crowd that has grown up. Our home ownership existence, I say I'm not under 40, but the group that is probably sold and bought their first and second homes during the last 15 to 20 years has known wildly low rates. And others have said to them, you don't know how good you've got it, or hold on to that rate. Or people have been like, oh my gosh, they're up from 3 to 4. That stinks. The reality is just about every other generation of homeowner has kind of said, what does it take to get a house? And then I'll try to keep it and improve the value of it, enjoy it. And when I need to sell it, I hope I can get as much equity out of it as possible. We are now viewing, I say we again, the kind of the current group of people paying attention to real estate most often are paying too much attention to interest rate. I'm not saying it's not important. It is very important, but it is not more important than the price of the house, the condition of the house, the location of the house. But growing up, all you ever heard about real estate, the immediate association was location, location, location.
It's also not as important as building equity.
Right.
If you don't own something, you can't build equity with it.
But now I feel like literally location, location, location has lost its luster. And now it's like rate, mortgage rate. You're like, I'm smarter than you because I have a 3% rate. No, you're not. You got lucky with the timing, or you spent a ton of money to get your rate down to 3%, or someone did. So look,
2.5 over here.
Yay for you.
3.4.
And I would just say, look, hold them as long as you can. Even if you choose to move, we'll help you keep the one you've got and buy another one. Or for a lot of people, sell that bad boy and get a ton of tax-free income and then go buy another one. But I would rather, I've been saying this for what, a year, two, almost 2.5 years now. Listen, the slightly higher rates right now are an asset to you because they're scaring a bunch of competing buyers away.
You know what? 6.5 isn't that bad.
You know what the best?
I don't
6.5
think
is
it
what
is.
I had. We first bought our first home in like 2009, 2010. It was 6.5, 7. That's what it was.
I have property investments right now higher than that, and I'm not upset about it. I would prefer a 1% rate, but you know what the best mortgage rate is? And this is a dumb joke. It's 0%.
Cash.
It's a paid off house. Okay. Now look, I'm going to get angry calls and emails on that one because someone's going to talk about arbitraging debt. If you have a 4% interest rate and I can get 5% in the market, I can make 1% spread on that dollar. Shut up. I get it. I know your spreadsheet. That's not what I'm saying. Call us right now if you want to make awesome, realistic decisions about your life and don't live in a spreadsheet. And your spreadsheet math is fine. If you're doing that, great. I'm not telling you not to. I'm saying most of us are not making that decision. You're talking about Can I affordably have a home that would be best for my family? Can I buy a second one for an investment? Can I cash flow that? Can I minimize my debt, maximize my equity, to use Ian's point? Can I generate some cash flow? Can I pay for college when I retire or later in life? Am I going to be able to sell this or keep owning it or whatever? These are the questions that the vast majority of people are asking. I want you to call us with any of those questions this week, 214-310-0008. You can text me right now and just say, I want to talk this week about that. And we can talk later. We don't have to talk right now. But text us right now. Let's get it on the books. 214-310-0008. If you want to buy or sell a house in the next 24 months, every day you wait is a day of uncertainty that you don't need to have. 214-310-0008, or go online to ToddTremontiTeam.com, or just Google Todd Tremonti. You will find us and contact us in whatever method you want. We're not going to twist your arm and try to sell you something, but we are borderline begging you to start the conversation now instead of waiting so late that you run out of options or you overspend. To Courtney's point, why are you so obsessive about rate? If I'm telling you when rates go down, there's a 95+% chance, it's probably higher than that prices are going to go up more and you are going to financially lose in that waiting game.
Just go back to 2020, folks.
It just happened.
Just go back to 2020.
Many times before.
People hated it. Buyers did not enjoy that market. Sellers thought it was the most wonderful thing in the world. Buyers hated it.
And we get calls, I won't say every day, but we get calls a couple times a week of people that are like, gosh, we should have bought in 2020 and 2021. We were waiting for the market to go down, and it has done nothing but go up. We were waiting for this economic crisis. We were waiting for home values to tank. We were waiting for the foreclosure rush. None of those things have happened, and we don't anticipate that they will. It doesn't mean they couldn't. It does not mean they couldn't. But if they do, and prices and rates come tumbling down, you'll own a home you're really proud of, and you won't sell it at a loss unless you absolutely have to. Yeah. So avoiding catastrophe, based on the data we have, now would be a great time to sell for an all-time high per sales price and buy at probably the lowest price you'll ever be able to buy that house in DFW for ever again. I believe that. You don't have to agree with me, but if you disagree, I would like to know why. What's the data? What's the logic? What's the trending information? What are you seeing on the ground in real estate that tells you differently? Give us a call. Let's have the conversation. You don't have to buy or sell now, but we would be glad to give you 30 minutes to 90 minutes of the time of one of our full-time experts to help you get a game plan in place to make the best real estate decisions for you and your family and your finances. All you have to do is call or text 214-310-0008. If you want to do that, but you're hesitating, stop hesitating. I have a team full of kind, very smart, generous, wonderful people that would love nothing more than to help you now, or if the best time to help you is later, we'll be here later. 214-310-0008 or ToddTremontiTeam.com. Just Google us if you forget any of that.
We literally just told somebody that reached out to us about selling their home. We just said, hey, now is not the right time for you to do that.
Yep.
It just doesn't make sense.
For their unique situation.
For their situation. Like, it didn't make sense. But we were honest and we told them that. And like, if that's your case, that we'll tell you. If it makes sense, we'll tell you.
Yeah,
Either way, get your home valuation, ToddTremontiTeam.com, less than 1 minute, go get it now.
Yeah, several people this week have said, I want to keep my house with my 2.5% rate, but buy a better house. Can you help me figure that out? And we've helped both of them out this week. 214-310-0008 or ToddTremontiTeam.com. Welcome back, party people. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. If you're just catching us, I am Todd Tremonti, and this is DFW Real Estate Weekly. The studio is full. The English Wonder is here. The Yanni Donnie. We've got full price Courtney.
Hey!
Let's keep this party rocking. There he is. That's standard English optimism, folks. Hey, 214-310-0008 with your real estate questions. We're a little hot today, and we're kind of upset with the people that are misleading you.
Hot.
We're ticked off by the people that keep telling the public, wait for real estate prices to come down in DFW. Wait for rates to come down. The reality is such that there is almost no chance that if mortgage rates come down, that prices go down. That makes no logical sense. There's no period in DFW history that's worth looking at that had any tenure, any sustainable period where rates came down and prices did not go up. And we are talking about the last couple times this happened, they went way, way, way up. So if you want to buy and you can afford to buy, you should be in the market to buy. We can help you do that. We're helping buyers save tens of thousands of dollars right now. 214-310-0008. Call or text right now. Don't wait. You can text us and just say, let's talk Thursday. Let's talk Wednesday. Can I come in? Let's jump on a Zoom. Call or text 214-310-0008. And if you haven't gone to toddtremonteteam.com and checked your property value, I love you. I'm not angry with you, but I think it's a little irresponsible to own an asset like a house or land or a building or an apartment complex and not know the value of it on a regular basis. If you go to toddtremonteteam.com and click the home value tab, you'll get your value now, and then it will update you and track your value and your equity on a month-to-month basis.
This first segment, as always, is going to be brought to you by Patrick Gleros and his team at Cardinal Financial. You can go to patrickgleros.com where you can get information on getting a mortgage, refinancing, really just any questions that you might have. patrickgleros.com is a great place to go and start. Again, you can do an application right there on his website. You can reach out to him. 972-728-3420, NMLS number 308804, patrickgleros.com.
Do it. That's where I go every single time. It's the only place my wife and I have ever gotten a mortgage.
Hey,
Okay.
we've got a big conference coming up.
We do. It's called the Real Growth Summit. It is the third week of October, actually right here in Richardson. And it is an incredible conference if you are a real estate professional wanting to grow your business. We have an incredible partner company called Real Geeks, who's actually also local, website and CRM provider. We've been doing this thing for 6 years, and we gather people together for 3 days and talk about building a real estate business that will support a life of income and impact.
You know what? I think it's even if you're thinking about getting into real estate, this could be a great place to go and just network a little bit, talk to some folks, get an idea. Is this kind of the right path for you?
You're going to hear from successful agents. You're going to hear from technology leaders. You're going to hear from me, multiple keynotes on how to approach life as a residential real estate business, residential, let me say that again. Residential real estate salesperson or business owner, whether you're a team leader or broker. A lot of team growth stuff that happens there. So if you're in the DFW area, save all the travel money, get a hotel room, camp out with us for 3 days. Your life and business will never be the same, and it will be for the positive. Go to realgrowthsummit.com, realgrowthsummit.com, or you can text the old tried and true number, Ian, 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008. You can text Real Growth Summit. We'll get you taken care of. Or you can go to realgrowthsummit.com.
I want folks to go to toddtremonteteam.com, and I want you to go and click on the home valuation tab. You are crazy if you haven't done this recently.
Borderline irresponsible.
I mean, I'm just telling you.
It's free.
Vital that you understand and know what your home's worth. If you're thinking about selling, definitely it's a fantastic place to start. It takes less than a minute. You can click on the home valuation tab over at toddtremonteteam.com, fill out some questions. It's going to give you home equity, what the home's worth, rent for. It's going to give you ways to get cash offers, just ways to reach out and talk to us. It's a great place to start. Home valuation tab over at toddtremonteteam.com. And while you're there, go ahead and get yourself a copy of the Summer Fun Guide. There's a ton of great things in there. One of the things that I mentioned it in the very first half of the show, we just did our staycation this week, and there's a thing that I wrote in the Summer Fun Guide that talks about what we do and how we do it. Each of our family picks a day, and we get to pick an activity out, an activity in, a meal out, and then you have to cook a meal.
And the Daniels family almost got trapped in the hardest escape room.
Hardest escape room we've ever done. We did Epic Waters over in Grand Prairie. We went bowling.
Unpaid promotion.
It is unpaid. We did Epic Waters, we did bowling, and then we did a really cool, fun place that Mari actually told me about on our team. I forget the name of it right now, but it was kind of interactive.
No promotion.
It was kind of interactive sports things, and it was really, really cool.
Activate?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Next time you go to that escape room, just let them know that you promoted them on the radio. Maybe they can hook your family up. All right, folks. I don't know how to shout it any louder. I could turn the volume up, literally louder, but I'm trying desperately to get the attention of DFW residents. The history of DFW is one of sustained and consistent property value growth. There have been almost no periods historically, no statistically significant, meaning they lasted any period of time, where property values dipped in North Texas. The late 80s savings and loan bust wasn't really pretty. 2008 wasn't fun, but truth be told, even in those periods, DFW property values did really well relative to the rest of the country. And in 2008, they barely dipped here. It was more like our market just hit pause. So what we have today is a significant slowing down of our market, but where property values, for the most part, generally speaking, have continued to go up, but go up more slowly. This is your moment. Ian said it earlier. There are going to be a lot of people 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now that look back on 2024 the same way people in 2024 are looking back on 2019, which is the last time we were ever saying, okay, the market's starting to normalize a little bit. It's not totally insane. It makes a little sense. There's some give and take. It's not as crazy. It was still a good market, but it wasn't berserko. That's where we are today. Don't you wish you had bought more property in 2019 at 2019 prices?
Yes.
Yeah, me too, my friends. I wish I had bought a ton. So the reality is this, and by the way, I did buy some. I just, you can afford what you can afford. The reality is in 2029, I believe, based on data and experience and seeing a lot of real estate on the ground every day, I believe in 2029, lots of people are going to look back and go, gosh, what were we thinking in 2024? Rates were up a bit. Prices were kind of slow growing and flat. There was a lot less competition. Holy moly. Why didn't we buy them? Because I think in 2029, your entry point into the market is going to be $500,000 or more. The entry point. Right now, it's 400-ish. And there are places you can get in less than that. But across the marketplace, on average, the most desirable neighborhoods, that's where you're starting. Why wait for much higher prices? Even if we have somewhat lower rates, much higher prices are going to kill any benefit of that. Now, those are my predictions. I could be wrong. I'm not trying to be arrogant, but we're not wrong much. We've been doing this 20-something years. We obsess about the data. We talk to thousands of people a year. We sell hundreds of homes a year. We operate the Todd Tremonti home selling team with an office in Fort Worth and an office in Richardson every single day with a team of about a dozen of us that are really pretty darn good at this. And I'm not trying to be an arrogant jerk. I'm just telling you, I've done it for a long time with a great track record. Such a good track record that we can guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. And what that means is we guarantee to sell your house for more money than similar homes at the same time of year in similar areas are selling for, and faster than those other homes are selling for. We also guarantee to save you at least $5,000 throughout the purchase process of buying a home. Just go to toddtremontiteam.com or call or text right now, 214-310-0008. One of our full-time, amazing professional agents that we have trained and run with every day will give you 30 to 90 minutes of their time. It could be on Zoom, might start on the phone. Best case is sitting down in the office. They'll buy you a cup of coffee or a water or a Coke, whatever you're into, and answer your questions. Truly seek to understand what's important to you and then help you craft a game plan for whatever you need or want whenever is best for you. 214-310-0008. Don't wait. You cannot start this conversation too soon, but most people wait way too late and they have fewer and poorer options. Call or text 214-310-0008 or online at
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
Talk to us about like the power of home ownership, because I think this is something that people, they get confused about, and people get really down, especially right now. And we talked a lot about this in the first half of the show, of just like the fear that people have about doing something right now. The reality, though, and the truth is, it's really, really important that people get to home ownership, I think, as early as is feasible and as early as makes sense financially for somebody, because it's just a way for people to get set up for the long term, right?
Well, it is It has always been the absolute anchor core of the American dream. Yet, we have a bunch of loudmouthed influencers yelling at people right now that you don't want to own your own home. You want to rent forever and own investment property. Look, as long as you own some property, I'm not going to be really upset with you. But I believe the mistake that these people are making, I know the mistake that these people are making, is they are not understanding or calculating the value of home from a non-investment perspective. By the way, I still think it's a great financial investment. But the non-investment value of safety, security, control over your own environment, the ability to cultivate a marriage, parenting, education, rest, recreation, tradition, culture, nostalgia, all the things that make family, that make home, that make tradition, that make friendships. Those things happen, if not all, predominantly in homes, in houses, apartments, condos, townhomes, homes on land, neighborhoods, whatever the case is. But that stuff typically happens under the roof, in the kitchen, in the living room, on the deck, in the patio, in the backyard. And so I'm telling you, not only to Ian's point of actual wealth building, get you a house, build equity, pay down debt, get a second house, rent it to someone else, short-term, long-term, midterm, get a third, get you a vacation house, get you some investments. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm saying that is a path to controlling your future, financial well-being, cash flow, equity growth, tax benefits, a lot of flexibility, and a lot of joy. Does it come with some work? Does it come with some obligations? Of course it does. Does anything worth having not come with those things? I believe, and I'd be glad to debate any of these big name influencers that are telling you not to own a home. By the way, they all own homes, just to be clear. They would just tell you to buy a home after you have bukus of money. That's not what they did, but that's what they're telling you to do. I'm telling you, the path to, in America, the American dream is still alive. It's harder to reach for some people. I'm not going to tell you that homes are free and cheap or whatever, but if you can get there, we want to help you get there. And we would say it's worth making sacrifices to get there. And we would tell you at times it's worth buying the home that is not quite yet your dream home, but is a home that you'd be proud to live in, build wealth, cultivate a marriage and parenting and freedom and rest and education, all the things we said. I want you to do that. Doesn't mean you have to want to do it, but if you want it and you need help figuring out how, call or text 214-310-0008 for the Todd Tremonti home selling team with an office in Fort Worth and an office in Richardson, 214-310-0008, or just Google Todd Tremonti.
All right, I want to take a couple minutes here for something that I'm personally very excited about, because Courtney recently made a statement that she feels like she's learned everything that she needs to know about real estate.
Oh, boy.
So what I've done is I've gone ahead and found a real estate licensing practice test. Yes. And I thought we would test this with Courtney to see if she does, in fact, know everything about real estate.
This segment historically is called Courtney Learns Real Estate.
Now it's
Today's
called Courtney Thinks She Knows Everything about real estate.
Today's version is called Did Courtney Learn Real Estate?
Wait,
Here we go.
Kind of exciting.
This is question 9 from the exam, Courtney. The Real Estate Settlement Procedure Act, RESPA, applies to what type of real estate transactions? Is it A, all cash sales, B, sales involving seller financing, C, federally related mortgage loans, or D, all of the above?
We have not talked about RESPA.
But you know everything about real estate. So
I'm going with all of the above.
Ooh. Yes! Fortunately, that is incorrect.
Okay.
Now, to be clear,
Was it A?
My applause.
My gut said A.
My applause was supposed to be laughter because
I was way off.
because the way formal real estate education is done, the questions are always flawed, and that question and the choices are totally berserk.
The answer for this question was C, federally related mortgage loans.
What does RESPA mean?
Real Estate Settlement Procedure Act.
Oh.
It is the legislation that regulates everything that is related to the settlement of home sales.
I have one more for you, Court.
I'm tired.
We'll call this the redemption round. Okay, ready?
Okay.
For a deed to be valid, it must be A, signed by the grantor, B, signed by the grantee, C, recorded at the state level, D, all of the above.
All of the above.
Unfortunately, that is also incorrect, Courtney.
Hey, there's good news here, though. There's still a future for Courtney Learns Real Estate.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm going to go with the grantee.
Also incorrect. It would be the grantor.
Okay, wait. As a grantee, I'm giving it to you.
Nope.
I'm receiving it?
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, what we've established here
Try this one.
is Courtney does not, in fact, know all about
Try
real
this
estate,
one.
but there are plenty of people on our team that do, and
Yeah.
you should reach out to us.
They're full
and
time.
talk to one of them.
I'm here to promote them. I'm here to promote them.
ToddTremontiTeam.com. Hey, think franchisor, franchisee.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, which one?
Better learn definitions.
Which one?
Franchisee, I'm renting it.
You're receiving.
Receiving it.
Renting's actually a really good way to think about a franchise.
Okay.
Listen, people, we're having fun, but we're also fired up. And we're fired up because there's just a tremendous amount of misleading information. Some of it is not intended to cause you harm. It's just really poorly informed rumors that bounce around the neighborhood or the office. And those rumors lead to a false sense of certainty on ideas like, I'm waiting for prices to come down in the real estate market, without having any really solid reasoning behind why prices would come down in the DFW real estate market. At the moment, there are very few, if any, legitimate, reliable reasons that DFW housing prices would come down. There's a few kind of obscure theories that we're going to overbuild inventory, which is not happening. There's a few, there's some people that just believe the entire U.S. economy is just going to come crumbling down. And by all means, if that happens, our values might go down. But if they do, everything's going to go down. So where are you safe? Your rent's going to go up, whatever. So we're just simply telling you, for most people right now, if you can afford to buy a home or sell and buy a home in DFW and you want to, we believe now is a great time to do that. Not the best time in history. That would have been like, 1777 when nobody had bought anything and you could get it for pennies. But the next best time we believe is right now. We believe the absolute forever long-term future of DFW real estate, at least for the next lifetime, will be a really, really, really great place to own residential real estate. If you own some real estate and you're looking to, spruce up the floors a little bit, specifically the garage floors or your concrete surface floors inside or outside, I want you to check out goodgaragefloors.com. That's goodgaragefloors.com. They did a phenomenal job on our garage as well as our old busted up sport court, basketball court, which was basically just a big concrete slab, which they have now beautifully turned into a really cool pickleball court and basketball court with multiple stain colors and boundary lines and sealed up the cracks and all that good stuff. But if you're looking for a good looking or a cleaner, better smelling, more efficient, more structurally stable garage floor or any other concrete and solid surface floors to be spruced up or put in, reach out to goodgaragefloors.com and tell them we sent you. That's Good Garage Floors. Tell them Todd Tremonti sent you.
All right, I got a word on a piece of paper, and this is where I want you to figure out a way to turn this back to real estate, okay?
We'll see.
The word that I have for you today that was handily passed along to me from court is lamp.
I love lamp. I had you muted. I had you muted. Jinx. I love lamp. This is going to be a little bit of a stretch, but there's a video on our YouTube channel called Low Cost, High Impact Ways to Increase Your Property Value. And lighting is one of the things I talk about. So landscape lighting is one of my favorites. You can have it installed professionally. It's not cheap, but it's low cost compared to the impact that it has. Or you could roll over to one of the big box stores and buy a box full of landscape lights for a couple $100 or less and install those. And they will dramatically change the value of your home. It's a value that comes from perception, but a buyer's perception, especially obviously at night or, dawn or dusk when it's darker out, your home is going to stand out from those that don't have landscape lighting. The other lighting that I like to change very affordably that has massive impact on a house is kitchen lighting. It is my opinion, but it has been proven to be fact because we've sold a ton of houses for a lot more money, is to put more light in your kitchen. Just more of it. Definitely newer, nicer, trendy fixtures and things, but I'm just talking more light as a whole. Makes rooms look bigger, brighter, optimistic. Even if you're a person that doesn't like overpowering bright rooms, great. We can do dimmers. But more light just about everywhere. But if I was giving you two places that I thought a lamp of sorts could have massive impact in your life, it is landscape lighting and kitchen lighting. Now, when I say landscape lighting, I mean outside everywhere. The front yard matters the most for selling a house. But if you got trees in the backyard and you can get some downlights in those trees when we're in daylight savings time, you got, darker earlier in the fall and winter, those landscape lights make a massive difference and turn the outside into really usable space, but it's also highly marketable. So outside landscape lighting, well, that's where the landscapes are. Landscape lighting and kitchen lighting are my top two lamp references that will make your life and your property and your finances better for it.
How about lamps, though?
Lamps are lights. As a matter of fact, just about the box on just about every one of those will say up shooting lamp, down shooting lamp.
I kind of want to test him on that.
Yeah, I want to test on
Test
that
it.
too.
Listen, if you're interested in being wrong a lot, then check it.
Apparently I am.
Yeah, so far today,
Do you like it?
lamps are lights. What do you guys call a flashlight in England? A torch?
Torch.
Torch.
But a lamp, in my mind, a lamp is what sits on like the side table in a house. That's
Your
a lamp.
mind is a dangerous place, but I do
You
recognize.
did go in the direction of light bulbs.
Nope. I went in the direction of light fixtures, which have bulbs.
I mean, you
in
said
them.
it was going to be a stretch, so you covered your bases.
I did. Thy word
Is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
I've muted them both, folks. Not to worry about anything.
I didn't even resist that. I just let his hand reach over to the board, and that was all the singing you need to hear from me. Hey, real quick, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, talk to us. If you choose to work with someone else, great. If we choose to someone else, we'll send you off with value. But if we're a fit for each other, you are going to be really, really happy that you started this conversation early and you got prepared and you slept well throughout the process or throughout the waiting game of getting ready to buy or sell when the time is right or invest. What you do not want to do is wait too late or always wonder if, had you talked to us, you would have had a much better situation, which likely you would have. Reach out now if you have any real estate goals for the next couple of years. 214-310-0008. Call or text 214-310-0008 or head over to toddtremonteteam.com where you can find out what your house is worth, track your equity, get a cash offer, find out if you're ready to buy or sell with one of our quizzes, or search all homes for sale by all agents on the MLS in DFW. toddtremonteteam.com.